of Ghana first and leaders of the country and have a right to espouse their principles and values on any matter.
Going SIM registration will streamline the fight against cybercrimes and make it easy to track criminals in the country.
How personnel of the Ghana Police Service have been charged to change their attitude to win public trust.
Also coming up, a man allegedly stabs his 3-month-old pregnant wife to death in the Ashanti region on Saturday dawn. Second spousal attack in 3 months.
Also tell you how 500 SMEs trained in digital literacy and software solutions are to equip them with necessary resources following the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic.
On the international front, Russia on Saturday recorded 1,000 COVID-19 related deaths in a single day for the first time since the pandemic began.
We have details of these as you also join us live through the DSTV channel 279 and also TV3 Ghana on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube, and also 3news.com.
Let's settle for the details now. And the National Cybersecurity Authority says the ongoing SIM registration will streamline the fight against cybercrimes in the country. Computer Emergency Response Team lead at the authority, Audrey Miracle, insists the exercise will not only reduce the number of SIM cards in use, but make it easy to track criminals.
Cybercriminals continue to elude detection mainly because the crimes can be committed from any part of the world. Additionally, criminals often use fake identities in the commission of the crime, and the use of SIM cards remain a dominant medium in the commission of cybercrime. A number of businesses, individuals and even government agencies continue to fall victim to cybercrimes. However, a computer emergency response team at the National Cybersecurity Authority hopes for a brighter future in the fight against the SIM cards used in cybercrime.
And when you go to the telcos with a court order, you go there, you find that the registration details is 12345. Who are we supposed to arrest? There's nobody called 12345. But if we register the SIM cards, we're able to tell who you are and who is even related to you. Why? Because the details on the IDs that were used to register that SIM card can point us exactly to the individual that was behind the crime.
Acting Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority, Dr. Albert Ntriboesiako, has been speaking about the importance of the law and its impact on the country.
Cybercrime is thus a major barrier to digital trust and undermines the benefit derived from digitalization and the cyber ecosystem. The Act remains Africa's best and among the best globally, and it contains provisions for the protection of our critical information infrastructures, incident reporting and response, licensing and accreditation, and the protection of our children.
The media sensitization program was to build capacity of media practitioners on new Cybersecurity Act 2020, Act 1038.
The most critical need of journalists is not a palatial home. It is not a swanky car. It is not the fattest paycheck. It is capacity building. So the mantra should be seek ye first capacity building, and all others shall be added onto it.
Now, the Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram, Sam George, has described the December 1 deadline to deny salary of public sector workers in Ghana who do not have the national identification card as a threat on the citizens' livelihood. Now, speaking on TV3 Current Affairs show, the key point also aired on 3FM, he noted it is wrong to solely rely on the Ghana card for identification.
The NIA must know that the Ghana card cannot be the sole card for every transaction in Ghana. It could be a mandatory card. So for every transaction in Ghana, you can access it if you have the Ghana card. So it's simple for you. So take for example, if I have a Ghana card and I want to go and do SNIT, I can just go there with that one card. I want to do health insurance, I can go there with that card. But that must not preclude any other person who wants to access the same service with another legally obtained national identity from obtaining that. Right now, the position of the agencies is to preclude the enjoyment of certain rights, so long as it is contingent on only the Ghana card. So what we are saying is, for example, the SIM card registration should be done using the Ghana card, the national passport, and the voter's ID card. Because that is what the law says, not what NIA thinks. Section 22C or something of LI 2006 says that the registration of a SIM card must be done with an identity document. It does not say with the national identity card. The Ghana passport is a national identity card. My voter's ID card is a national identity card. Today you are asking me to use a Ghana card. A Ghana card that I cannot even use in a bank.
Meanwhile, legal practitioner Gary Nimako has urged the Controller and Accountant General's Department to reconsider its decision not to pay government workers who do not have the Ghana card by December 1. Speaking on the Current Affairs show, The Key Point on TV3 and 3FM, he noted the directive would create unnecessary tension in the country.
Let us be honest with ourselves. We are going to create work for lawyers because if it is true that I have worked, and then you say that you are not going to pay me because I do not have an HIA card, there's a likelihood that those people might, file civil suits against their employers. And by extension, the government, National Identification Authority, must try to ensure that they register as much more people that they can register. What is the rationale for all these things? It is because of these ghost names and all these things. That is why I think that the control is trying to synchronize people who are actually working and those who are perceived to be on the payroll, but they are not in fact supposed to be there. The intention is good, but the communication may have some difficulties with it. Because I do not think that whoever made the announcement that if you don't register by 1st of whatever, you will not get your salary by the end of the month, that is December, probably maybe intended evil. I don't think so. Maybe the communique was that, hey, now they say if you don't register, you will not get salary. So then it will motivate people to go and register. But if genuinely somebody who has indeed worked and there is proof that they have worked, and for the fact that you just say that they don't have the Ghana card, and so therefore you will not pay, you are only going to vex the system with unnecessary legal suits.
Let's turn attention on security. And over 500 police personnel, they have completed an intensive high-risk operation training at the Police Counter-Terrorism Enactment and Concentration Camp at Accra in the Accra district of the Eastern Region. Reviewing Officer, Eastern Regional Police Commander, DCOP Edward Johnson Akrofio Yerifi, called for attitudinal change among personnel to win the trust of the public.
The Police Counter-Terrorism Enactment and Concentration Camp at Accra in the Accra district of the Eastern Region has since its establishment equipped over 200 batches of personnel in varying fields. The latest group of 500 police personnel underwent an intensive high-risk operation training comprising rappelling, improvised explosive device demonstration, boxing and armed combat, gymnastics and range works including marksmanship. The group also went through combat readiness, community policing and public confidence building skills among others.
We have to take strategies to prevent the commission of such crimes. But once we know that by all means such crimes will occur, we have to also take strategies so that if they occur, we'll be able to mitigate their effects.
The reviewing officer and Eastern Regional Police Commander DCOP Edward Johnson Akrofio Yirifi further charged the police personnel to win public trust.
For us to execute our mandate, we will have to win the trust and confidence of the populace. And by winning the trust and confidence of the populace, that is why some concepts like the SIAVAB concept that you have learned at this training ground is key towards attaining such objectives.
Chief Superintendent John Ali Raymond Adofiem is director of the newly established Police High Risk Operation Unit.
They've gone through theoretical areas to keep them abreast with current threats across the globe, localize local or our own domestic vulnerabilities, and then also facilitation skills as to be able to educate, create awareness among the civil society. And then they've also gone through combat tactics and various weaponry.
Ashanti region emerged the best marksman of the final day event.
And now immigration officers at the look-back checkpoint in the Afajatu South district of the Volta region have intercepted an Opel Astra car with registration number AS8242V carrying parcels of dried leaves suspected to be Indian hemp. The 216 suspected parcels of Indian hemp have been handed over to the Narcotics Control Board. The leader of the Joint Patrol Team, Korejan Megbe, warned traffickers the service will deal ruthlessly with them.
The Joint Patrol Team, made up of the Ghana Immigration Service, the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana Armed Forces, Operation Calm Life, on duty, intercepted this Opel Astra heading towards Accra, from Logba to Accra. Upon intel, the team made a roadblock, snap check. The driver, sensing danger, speed off, getting closer to the officers. The officers has to chase the vehicle. The driver, upon sensing danger, used one of the unapproved routes, heading towards Logba, Tafi to Bandu. He decided to abandon the car and run away with the key. The officers had to tow this car to the base. Further checks revealed that there were these substances, parcels of 216 substances suspected to be Indian hemp were found in this vehicle. We're going to hand over this item to Narcotics Control Board for further investigations. I'm using this medium to warn the public that they should desist from these illegal businesses, because we are here 24/7. Our mode of operation hasn't changed. We patrol through the unapproved route. We hit the road as we receive intel. So this should be a caution to them. They should stop the illegal business, because we don't sleep.
In other news, a medicine formulary unit has been set up at the Kolibu Teaching Hospital to enhance service delivery. The Chief Executive Officer of the hospital, Dr. Opoku Wari Ampoma, said the unit will provide the safest medicines for patients.
A formulary is a list of medications available for use at a hospital or health system and includes dosage forms, strengths, and package sizes of each of the medications on it. Diligent management of this list has both patient care and financial implications. Commissioning the unit, the Chief Executive Officer of the hospital, Dr. Upukuwari Ampoma, said it was important for medical practitioners to also use innovative ways in the provision of healthcare delivery.
This would ensure that we are using the safest and most cost-effective medication for our patients, and to enhance patient safety and also improve the therapeutic benefits of the medications that are prescribed.
The chairman of Drugs and Therapeutics Committee, Dr. Yao Furia J, said the ultimate goal is to provide service that is cost-effective, reliable, friendly, and sympathetic to clients and patients.
The bedrock of any prescribing activity has to do with a formulary. And the formulary, as we've said, is the standard that has the list of drugs that has been approved. It's based on evidence. We know that it works, and we also know that it is cost effective, and people can prescribe from the list confidently. If people are able to do that, then obviously it will stop problems like irrational prescription of drugs.
A 13-member drug and the therapeutics committee will supervise the operations of the pharmacy.
30-year-old Henrietta Miracle is suffering an advanced stage of endometriosis, a disorder in which tissues grow outside the womb. She requires $3,000 to undergo urgent surgery to drain menstrual blood accumulated in her chest wall.
Women are expected to menstruate every month to shed blood from the uterus or the womb. The cycle sometimes causes minor cramps, but for Henrietta Miracle, her monthly menstrual cycle is a matter of life and death.
My sister took me to the hospital. And so I was asked to take a scan. So through the scan, the one taking the scan took it around my chest. After the abdomen, it came around my chest. So it was detected that I had a fluid in my right lungs. So the doctor asked me to go for an x-ray. So it was when I took the x-ray, I was diagnosed with endometriosis. Anytime I do my menses, there's some tissues that escape. So that tissue also developed in my right lung. So anytime I do my menses, when the blood flows, it also flows over there.
She's suffering an advanced stage of endometriosis, a disorder in which tissues grow outside the womb. During her menstrual cycle, she bleeds into her umbilical cord and lungs.
Initially, we didn't know what exactly was wrong with her, because it started with her umbilical cord swollen. No, it was even at the side. So we thought it was hernia. So the first scan queried her hernia. So after some time, I had to take her back again. And then the doctor was like, no, this is not hernia. At that time, the umbilical cord is swollen. And there's a small lesion at the side. It has become very big, and the lesion bleeds as well. So I realized that any time she will be having a menses, it bleeds. So that was when the doctor diagnosed her of umbilical endometriosis. So we went and then took an x-ray. When we brought it, you could see the right lungs, the chest walls at the right side. They explained that the tissues are both in the umbilical cord and then the right chest. So anytime she have a menses, she's bleeding at two parts in her body.
Henrietta could lose her ability to have children and also risk a total shutdown of both lungs. She requires $3,000 to undergo urgent surgery at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
I'm pleading with the public to help me, because right now my situation is at the Kolebu cardio unit, and the surgery costs $3,000. After the surgery, I'll be on medication, and one medication costs $2,400. I'll be on it for 9 months. Every 3 months, I need to take a shot of it for 9 months. I'm pleading with the public to help me and help my family to raise the amount so that I'll be able to do the surgery successful, and I'll be grateful.
Please send your donation to TV3's MTN Momo number 0242 261 550 with reference menses.
So that's what she needs, $3,000, but she would also need a little more for expenses after that surgery, because for 9 months she has to be on this very expensive medication, 2,400 Ghana cedis that she would need to take those boosters. Well, if just in case you can't send Momo, you want to walk in directly to TV3, you can just walk in, you go through the reception, and just come look for us in the newsroom and do the appropriate. Thank you very much. But as we also move on, we also do know that a man is reported to have apparently stabbed his 3-month-old pregnant wife to death in the Ashanti region this dawn. The suspect, whose name was given only as Maxwell by an eyewitness, said he allegedly killed the wife on suspicion that she was cheating on him. Now, this is the second Spousal attack in similar fashion in 3 months. William Evansinkum visited the crime scene and has filed this report.
We are in the house of Betty, the 22-year-old pregnant woman who was allegedly stabbed to death by her husband. We understand the man is currently on the run, and this particular incident happened in the presence of their 6-year-old child.
Nti me na me ti dede na ekoso be 12:05 and I'm sorry me na me ye beta mfuma mu ana ye hu de ekoso nti me na me tia mu se e de na ekoso no.
This is the apartment for Betty and her husband. I heard some disturbances from the room and I shouted, "What is going on?" The man turned off the lights in the room. The woman shouted, "He is killing me," for 3 times. Then she stopped. The man recently followed her to Togo on a business trip, suspecting her of cheating. He killed her 2 days after returning from Togo.
Within 2 days,
this is where the incident happened. This is the second spousal attack in similar fashion in 3 months. On August 2, a similar incident happened at Esuefia, where a man was reported to have shot and killed his wife. Moments after that act, the man committed suicide. The police has confirmed the incident, but now are very economical with information because the suspect is on the run.
Story there, we'll keep an eye on this one and give you the details as and when we get it. But leader of the secessionist group Homeland Study Group Foundation, Charles Komi Kujoji, is dead. Charles Kujoji, popularly known as Papavi, shot to fame in 2017 when he led a group he formed to call for the restoration of the Western Togoland.
TV3 sources indicates that the leader, popularly called Papavi, died on Saturday, October 16 at the Keta Government Hospital in the Volta region after a short illness. Currently, it is not clear the exact illness that killed the 88-year-old. Papavi became popular in the country in 2017 when he was arrested with others by police in Hu for distributing T-shirts in favor of the independence and restoration of the Western Togoland, which currently spans 5 administrative regions, namely Volta, Uti, Northeast and Upper East regions. In September last year, Papavi's separatist group declared independence from the Republic of Ghana, leading to the rearrest of 60 members of the group. A month later, Papavi and 59 others were released from detention due to alleged insufficient evidence against them.
To the security agents on several occasions. Anytime they wanted me, I went up there. We had the discussions and I come home. But this time, I don't know why guns were held, young men holding guns, young men were 1,000 of them, looking for an 85-year-old man. I don't know what they have in mind about me.
The founder of the Homeland Study Group Foundation was later charged with treason but called the bluff of the Attorney General, indicating that the charges against him and others arrested were unconstitutional. Papavi, when arrested, was handled with care because of his feeble look posed by age.
These are the dragons of Western Togoland military army. about 4,300 dragons are trained in a nearby country. They are ready to enter into their motherland, Western Togoland.
But will Papavi's death compel the surviving members of the Homeland Study Group Foundation to nip their demand for seeking independence for Western Togoland in the bud, or forge ahead? Time will tell.
Now, just last month, on September 25, the late pro-separatist group leader, and already we know his past, Charles Komi Kujoji, had an interaction with Komla Kluche in which he said charges preferred against him by the state were unconstitutional. We'll bring you a recall.
As we speak, you are facing the court on a charge that we are told is belonging to a prohibited organization. That is what we understand is the charge that has been leveled against you. What do you make of all of these prosecutions against you?
You asked a very nice question, but I'll take you back a little. At first, I was charged for treason, taken to court. We went to court persistently for 7 months, and the president finally asked the court to discharge me. He wasn't interested in the case. A second arrest, I was brought to Accra. Accra, we went in, the president repeated the same thing. So I came back and I was sitting down. This new charge now, that I belong to a prohibited organization. I am now over 80 years, 88. I have never heard of any organization in this country which is prohibited by government. Political parties are there. Groups are there. There has been nothing in papers, in the news, anywhere that this group is prohibited.
Mr. Rest in peace. But that's why we have to go for a break. When we come back, we have more news for you.
I'm going to interview Zuzum right here in my house. Hey!
Look up there. Why are you using inferior pen?
It was a mistake. I no check.
Acrobat, I'm going to knock you out.
I know, sir.
You deserve quality.
Don't make mistakes. Stop!
You did the right thing.
When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint, be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion.
I rather your humble servant do my back. And I tightness of crowd into the that's what that Matthew 7:7. What's your missa? How the Maya? Papa, to go miss so. 2020 was a very tough year. 2021 there, mafia. First me talk about Gary Kitwebi. Say the concrete and casa and the medicum. Papa, in the system in my thing. Has been so dear, but me I am a kama. I am young palm, the Miamato. Show me a miracle.
It's showering cash with a grand prize of 100,000 Ghana cedis in the Airtel Tigo Tugumisu promo. Top up, do so much more on Airtel Tigo and earn points to win lots of cash. Dial star 500 hash and recharge 5 Ghana cedis to also win data and call minutes. Get Airtel Tigo.
Airtel Tigo, no, my
I love football. Football can be a dirty game, on or off the pitch. Even when I'm trying to score at a party, stains find a way of tracking me down. But I don't worry at all, because I have Cleansoft. Use new Cleansoft 360 Deep Clean, a unique formula with active ingredients and enzymes that gets rid of all stubborn stains and leaves your clothes smelling wonderful.
Cleansoft, my favorite.
Cleansoft 360. Deep clean, clean all.
Let's see if you can solve this.
Okay.
It's a home with over 100 rooms and has space for everyone.
I don't know.
What about you? Can you answer this? Stay tuned. Something big is coming.
Day by Day exists in lotion, cream, soap, and more. Day by Day has 4 fragrance range.
Welcome back. A member of the MPP communications team and also the board chair of the Gaming Commission, Gary Nimakon, has asked radio stations whose licenses were revoked to be cautious in their demand to have their old frequencies returned to them. Now, speaking to TV3, the legal practitioner also rejected suggestions of political undertones in the earlier shutdown of some of these stations.
With the NCA shutting down those stations was a failure of the previous NDC administration to enforce the law. And rightly or wrongfully, there have been discussions, there have been negotiations along the line. Now there seems to be a certain position that, well, let's allow them back on stream. The board has approved that you come back on stream. So, well, they are calling for the same authorization to be given to them, the same frequency. Well, that one will depend on the board to decide as to whether or not to give them the same frequency or otherwise. Because now, technically, it is a fresh application. The law is very clear that you must make sure that you renew your authorization 3 months prior to expiration of the authorization. And they were 5 years, 5 years, 5 years, 5 years, 5 years. And they have been sitting down, they never renewed. So where they are now, it is a fresh authorization. The NCA board will have to decide whether to grant them within the limited purview, considering all the economic factors, the same license frequency, or to allocate them with a different one. But that's the decision which I cannot commit the board to.
Director General of Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alex Dodu, says the authority will ensure high standards for both imported and locally manufactured goods. This, he observed, is what will make Ghanaian businesses competitive in the era of the African Continental Free Trade Area. He spoke with my colleague Eben Ejekumboating as the world celebrated International Standards Day.
World Standard Day 2021 is about shared vision for a better world. Professor Alex Dodu assured of highest level of standards for the country.
Because of COVID, supply chains have been disrupted. Shipping containers costs have gone up. The African Continental Free Trade Area, we are hosting the secretariat. It has started. That means that business has changed. There will be more importers and more exporters and more manufacturers. You want fair trade. The quality will be world class. And then people will come to Ghana and trade, like we also go to other countries to trade. We want to open business for you in Africa and beyond. We also want you to support government so that we can create jobs and make this country a happy place. Yes, we will not only import, yes, we will manufacture. But whether we manufacture or import, the standards will be the same.
The Ghana Standards Authority boss stressed the need to further ease the processes of doing business.
For those of you who also manufacture, in the areas where you need GSA services or Food and Drugs Authority services, it will be one-stop shop, and you see more, hear more next week. So that you don't go here, you don't go there. One government, one test report, one result, so that you move on quickly. It will reduce your cost, but importantly, it will make business go fast. Our only job is to make sure that your business is fast, so that you don't pay interest. That's something that can be cleared in 1 hour, we clear in 1 hour. So that you can sell it quickly and make your money quickly, pay your taxes, and import more.
On October 14 every year, members of the International Electrotechnical Commission, IEC, the International Organization for Standardization, ISO, and the International Telecommunication Union, ITU, celebrate World Standards Day, which is a means of paying tribute to the collaborative efforts of thousands of experts worldwide who develop the voluntary technical agreements that are published as international standards.
The Evangelical Presbyterian Church, Ghana, has joined forces with other religious bodies calling for the outright rejection of the LGBT orientation in Ghana. The moderator, the Reverend Blaise Divine Agbako, described the activity as a recipe for self-destruction, which stirs the anger of God.
The LGBTQ is a recipe for self-destruction and extinction
of human life and race. Any practice that does not promote life and conform to natural common order of living cannot be good, since it is not life-sustaining, no matter how it feels. Our personal feelings must not be a rule for human behavior, especially under the discussion of sexual feelings, orientations, and practices. Our culture and tradition in sexual desire and orientation is life-supporting and sustaining. Therefore, we do not endorse and do not accept any sexual orientation and practice that contravenes our faith, our tradition, and culture as natural or godly practice. The LGBTQ issue is one of those abnormalities we refuse to accept. We say no to it.
Reverend Agbeku, while entreating the public to refrain from physically attacking the LGBTQ people, said there should be no legal backing for them.
Anybody in that practice is experiencing a neurological or psychological challenge and therefore needs help. We can offer as help will be given through counseling, prayer, support, and also point to the natural order of the way life is sustained and promoted on the planet Earth as a model. We must be kind towards them on humanitarian grounds, but not to think and feel as they do. Such persons or person suffering from neurological malfunction in terms of their sexuality and orientation should not be seen as normal and given legal justification in the name of human rights.
In the same vein, founder and leader of the God of the Fathers Ministries International, Reverend Shalpas Isaac Pepra, has called for prayer backing for Parliament to pass the anti-LGBTQ+ bill without any hitch and drawbacks. The sole national sanctification crusader mounted a spirited defense for the bill when he undertook a one-hour anointing around the State House here in Accra.
We raise the spirit of our fathers against every foreign space, against every invader space that want to come and influence our life.
There appears to be a unanimous support for religious bodies in the country for the anti-gay bill. Almost all the identifiable church leaders have intensified pressure on Parliament to pass the anti-LGBTQ+ bill, which some private members introduced. For the founder and leader of the God of the Fathers Ministries International, the Reverend Shalpas Isaac Pepra, the fight must not be left to just word-of-mouth declaration. He insisted there are lots of spiritual manipulations ongoing from the opposing side, hence the need to back the legislature with prayers to overcome the demonic manipulations.
I use this as a sacrifice over the head of the parliamentarians. That any fact that they are praying to influence them to go against
He had gone ahead to anoint the State House enclave as a sign of spiritual protection for the Parliament House.
Man and man married, woman and woman married, man and animal married, woman and animal married. Spiritually, we oppose them. We oppose them.
He called on well-meaning Ghanaians to support the parliamentarians with both spiritual and physical backing to succeed.
We have overcome those demons. We have scattered them. They will not have a way in our land. And this direction that we have carried out is the spiritual side of the whole battle. Now I believe that the spirit of the fathers have been invoked, and there will be results. We bring the honorable parliamentarian before you. The state of the land is continuing. We are at the gate where decision is going to be made. We are the men that you have put here to help your children, to help your nation. In place of our fathers, they will not make mistakes. They will not be influenced. Father, they will do things in the right way.
Reverend Shalpas. Now, moving on. Officials from the Forestry Commission say the crackdown on Galamsey operations has improved Ghana's forest vegetative cover. Chief Executive of the Commission, John Alote, disclosed that most forest reserves in Ghana have been rid of illegal miners.
Early this year, government deployed over 400 military officers to raid forest reserves and riverbanks of Galamsey operators. Forest reserves were invaded by Galamsey operators under the operation to flush illegal miners from the reserves. Chief Executive Officer of the Forestry Commission, John Alote, after a 2-day working visit to the Western North region, said the presence of military officers and forest reserves has led to the removal of illegal miners.
We are looking at the corridor, the corridor from the Bonan region through the Hafu to the Western North. That is a very critical corridor where a lot of illegalities are happening. And we want to be able to put in measures to be able to, curtail those illegalities around those areas.
The tour took him to Green Ghana project site in the region, to the Traditional Council and degraded forest reserves. The paramount chief of the Secessionist traditional area pledged his support for activities aimed at protecting forest reserves.
Yeah. Na forest adwuma na etintim no yenso yebedi ho dwuma
500 micro, small and medium enterprises have been trained in digital literacy and software solutions to equip them with necessary resources following the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The 12-month project, initiated by the Ghana Enterprises Agency and Invest for Jobs at a cost of 1.5 million euros, forms part of initiatives to support SMEs navigate their business operations through digitalization.
The COVID-19 SME Digitalization Project was launched in 2020 as one of the interventions initiated by the Ghana Enterprises Agency. It is in partnership with the German Development Corporation to enable MSMEs stand following the impact of the pandemic. The project provided digital solutions as a strategy to adapt to emerging market demands brought about by COVID-19 to ensure efficiency. In all, 500 SMEs participated in 5 categories of training across 6 clusters on digital skills, social media, and technological updates.
SMEs would think of the only need for business being the funding, but when you really think through it, funding is important, but that's not the most important thing of running a business. You need to understand that your business model is well defined, your product market fit is spot on, your operating model is also well defined, your processes are clearly defined, you have the right people with the right skill set, and you have the right tools as well. Once you have all these things in place, you have strong pillars which financiers actually look at.
Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Enterprises Agency, Kosi Yankee Ayem, commended the German Development Corporation for the support and pledged government's commitment to accelerate and sustain growth in the MSME sector.
For our partners at GIZ Ghana, the success of this program lies in how many jobs have been created, the importance of people learning the technology tools. And so for us, we have monitoring mechanisms because we've kind of clustered them based on our districts and business advisory centers. And so the business advisory centers will continue to engage with them as our clients so that they can be able to build the businesses and grow.
Participants were presented with certificates and other incentive packages.
The Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, the GNPC, has acquired 7% commercial interest in both the Jubilee as well as the 10 blocks from Occidental Petroleum for a purchase price of $199 million US, and this will be effective 1st April 2021. Consideration due OXY at completion was approximately $165 million after taking into account closing adjustments. Occidental had prior to this transaction acquired the Ghana assets of Anadaco. The acquisition, as the GNPC's existing carried as well as participating interest of some 13.64% in the Jubilee field and then the 15% in the 10 field.
You're watching us on News 360. Sports is up next with Aniela Loti.
UMB Speed Up presents 10 steps to stay safe. If you can,
Stay home. Wash your hands regularly with soap under running water. Keep alcohol-based hand sanitizer close for frequent use. If you must go out, maintain a safe distance of at least 1 meter from the next person. Cough or sneeze with your mouth and nose covered with tissue, or bend your elbow while doing so. Avoid handshakes or hugs. Keep a mental note of people you have come into contact with or places you've been to. Avoid touching your face with unwashed hands. Drink a lot of fluids and boost your immune system with fruits and vegetables. Bank whenever, wherever with UMB Speed Up. UMB Speed Up. Digibank. Let's go.
The show was a jar or bar anyone concrete dim.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria. Lufat. Lufat.
Injija woman malaria and want to them. Lufat. Malaria drop.
And now you may kiss the bride.
Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center. And I Lufat. Lufat. A two malaria sententem. FDA. Ashesa ekede inkratwe ajatum se eye.
Salaga, let's be it now.
Yes.
Wow. At 72, I still receive salary alerts because I made the best decision to invest a lump sum into the retirement salary.
Invest a lump sum today in the Old Mutual Retirement Salary and enjoy guaranteed monthly income for life, funeral cover, and the option of signing on with a spouse. Please call Old Mutual today, 050-453-4333.
Me feel ahotonkwa.
Old Mutual, 176 years of doing great things.
Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG.
Sports segment is brought to you by
Kel Kids Toothpaste. Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG.
It's time for sports on News 360. I am Aniela Alote. We start off with the English Premier League. Leicester City fired late on all cylinders to beat Manchester United 4-2 at home, ending a 4-match winless run and piling more pressure on visiting manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Elsewhere, Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne were on target as Manchester City defeated Burnley 2-0 at the Etihad Stadium. Meanwhile, Roberto Firmino bagged a hat-trick as Liverpool reclaimed top spot with a 5-0 win over Watford.
thing. The event is open to all from 8 p.m. There shall be no ticket sale.
That will be all for sports this evening. I am Aniela Alote. Up next is international news.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by Puma Drinks.
In entertainment news tonight, Northern Beast dancers are the ultimate winners of the second edition of the 3FM Dance Challenge, the competition which unearths up-and-coming dance talents, give them exposure apart from winning prizes, of course. The contest, which ended Friday, saw 5 finalists keenly battling it out. My colleague Naftali Ba has details of the event.
Also 5 Junction on Friday night hosted the climax of this year's edition of the 3FM Dance Challenge, which has been running for weeks. The final battle for supremacy saw 5 fired up, showing their mastery on the dance floor. At the end of round 3, the competition was between the Boys Lois GH, Northern Best Dancers and Afro Network. Against all odds, the Northern Best Dancers proved why they deserved the bragging rights and all other benefit within the final stage. Their Indian dance moves, costume and energy on stage gave them an upper hand over the others. They took home 2,000 cedis among other amazing prizes.
2021 Season 2 is Northern Best Dancer.
How does it feel coming all the way from the north to win this? It's a great privilege given to us we have it now, because it's not that easy to come all the way from north to win a competition here in Accra, Ghana. It's been a great privilege to us. We thank God for that. How did you prepare for this competition? We really prepared enough, because since day one, since the day that we saw the video, since then we never rest, because we knew where we were up to, and now we are here.
Powered by your urban lifestyle radio station 3FM 92.7, the competition sought to discover the finest unsigned dance crew. Marita Ofori was one of the judges on the night.
So bringing the show to the people is a great way to connect with them. It has been very exciting. The journey has been rough and tough and very competitive, but it has been very, very exciting. You can see the masses that the program has pulled out here in Osu. And I would like to commend 3FM for putting up such a beautiful program that is helping unearth talent and rewarding them as well.
And I tell you, a great one there for a fan who loves Bollywood movies. I love their dance moves. Yeah, definitely. They deserve to win as well. But let's bring you a wrap of what is taking place on the international front.
Russia on Saturday recorded 1,000 COVID-related deaths in a single day for the first time since the pandemic began. The figure had been rising all week, with the Kremlin blaming the Russian people for not taking up vaccination. Only about a third of the population has had a jab amid widespread distrust of the vaccines. Russia's figures of 222,000 COVID deaths is the highest in Europe, with another 33,000 infections reported on Saturday. Overall infections since the outbreak began are now closing in on 8 million. Former Health Secretary Matt Hancock has had a job offer from the United Nations with on. Hancock announced this week that he had been given a role helping Africa's economy recover from COVID. The UN said he would bring valuable experience. Matt Hancock now says a rule has come to light that prevents him from taking the job while an MP. Leading figures across Africa and UK opposition parties had criticised the UN's choice of the MP for the role. But the West Suffolk MP faced a backlash from critics on social media who pointed to the fact that a highly critical report from MPs on the UK government's handling of the pandemic had been released on the same day. Hancock's new role came 4 months after he resigned from his cabinet post for breaking social distancing guidelines by kissing a colleague. The UN has now told him the appointment is not being taken forward.
Well, that'll be it for News 360 right here on TV3. Make sure you get all the latest updates. We're talking TV3 Ghana, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And then also 3news.com. My name is Roland Walker.
And my name is Aisha Yakubu Hali. Stay with us here on TV3 and enjoy the rest of our programs.
Bye-bye.
One app that lets you chat, call, read, play, pay, and listen to music. Enjoy Ayoba with MTN. Download Ayoba now.
Break these chains on my wrist. Set me free, set me free. This battle must be fought. Courageous like our forefathers. Wokuma pima pimbeba. Call our ancestors to fight with us. This is the war we have to win. Yeah, yeah. Awa wetu. Awa banayafi. Awa wetu. Awa banayafi. We are kings and queens in a motherland, oppressed and abused in a white man's land. Nowhere is like home. Know that if you from Ghana to Senegal, no matter where they took you, remember the way back home and never forget we are one. Awa wetu, awa banayafi, awa wetu, awa banayafi.
Alomo Bitters, authentically African.
Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18 years of age. Not recommended for pregnant women.
This advert is FDA approved.